Chapter 26, The Cave. Harry and Dumbledore are seemingly on the coast of the sea somewhere, don't know where, and Harry can just smell the seawater everywhere, and they're on some like cliff face. And Dumbledore explains, so it was probably just Voldemort and the two kids that he tortured. Um, that came here. There's a small town just little bit away, and they're going to look for a cave. And so they go and walk a little bit to some cave entrance, and they have to swim to get to this entrance. They have to swim. Dumbledore's like, "You're okay getting wet?" Harry's like, "Yeah, that's fine." The water was very cold, so they swam, and then there was like a wall, and Dumbledore was just looking at it, and Harry was just quiet in the back. Dumbledore was just looking at it, and he concurred that probably he had to spill some blood to get the entrance opened. So he took out a knife, cut his hand, and that opened the passage, and then he healed up his hand really quickly. As they went in, it was described as like a big open area, and there was like a lake in the middle, and also a like couldn't see it. It was like a glowing light, green light coming from the middle of the lake. And so to deduce like how maybe they could get the Horcrux out. Harry did like Accio Horcrux. Something came out of the water, but it wasn't, and then it went back in. And as they were walking, then there was a spot Dumbledore just stopped and was like, "This is probably it." So then he kind of just put his hand in the air and grabbed something and did some stuff with his wand, and then a chain came out. So he was talking about how like magic leaves traces, even small traces, and that's how he was able to know that that was there. Chain came out attached to the rock they were at, and then a boat came out of the water, and it's a little rickety boat that he assumed was how Voldemort got to the middle. Dumbledore did mention, "Don't touch the water, Harry." So the guy on the boat went to the middle, and it was like a little rock formation. Harry said probably no bigger than Dumbledore's office. So as they got on there and got to the middle, there was like a little basin in the middle that looked somewhat like the pensive in Dumbledore's office, and it was making this green light. And as they were going across, before they got to the middle, Harry had noticed there was a hand he saw in the lake, and then he saw a body just below the surface. He was like, "There's bodies in here," and Dumbledore was like, "Don't worry about the bodies. We just got to get across the lake and don't touch the water." And as they got over there, then he was looking at the basin, and it couldn't touch it. It was like invisible force that was between the basin and like their hands. So he asked Harry to touch it, the same thing, or he asked Harry to try to touch it. It was the same thing. And then he's like, "Probably gonna have to drink this," because there was like water in the basin. So then he said, "Harry, I need to listen to me very carefully. I'm gonna have to drink this stuff, and even if I say stop, you're gonna have to keep feeding me this liquid that's in here. Could be poison, it could be something, it could be whatever." Basically, he was prepared that if he was going to die, he was still going to be able to get the Horcrux. And he had to make sure Harry knew what he was getting himself into. And Harry was like, "Yes, but," he kept trying to, interject. But Dumbledore was like, "You gave me your word that you're going to follow my directions no matter what." So then as Harry was giving him the whatever liquid it was, Dumbledore was drinking it, and then it was after like a couple drinks, then it started affecting him. He started at first just like rasping a little bit, and then kind of doubled over like he was in pain, and then he started screaming, and until the point where he was basically said telling Harry to kill him. Like it was whatever he was going through was really, really bad. and he was just telling Harry to kill him. Harry was like, or just telling Harry to end his suffering. Harry was like, yes, this is going to end your suffering. He was trying to console him. He was trying to do whatever he can to make Dumbledore keep drinking this liquid. And then at the end, he kind of fell over. Harry was trying to resuscitate him because he kind of stopped breathing for a second. And then he started needing some water. And he was trying to fill up the basin with water. Every time he filled up with water, he would give it to Dumbledore, and then the water would disappear. So then he went down and got water from the lake. And this probably was something he should not have done, but he I think he forgot. Once he did that, then something grabbed him in the lake. It was a white hand. It just grabbed him, like a possessed dead body that was in the lake. It grabbed him, and then he used a spell, knocked it off of him. And then more started coming out, and more started coming out, and more, almost like zombies. Think of like zombies coming out of the lake. And at this point, Harry got overwhelmed, and they were just dragging him in the lake. And then Dumbledore, with a big ring of fire, just started, yeah. And then the inferi, or I guess the magically animated corpses, they started backing up, and then Dumbledore kept the ring of fire going around them, told Harry to come closer to him. Harry came closer to him and picked up the locket that was in the middle of the basin. Dumbledore picked it up really quickly, put it in his pocket, and then they took it back with them. Hopped in the boat, and Harry had a wound on him, so he used his blood this time to open up the passage. Dumbledore was very weak. He told Harry, I'm weak. But he said, I'll be okay because I have you. And as they got back in the water, and we're heading out. Also in this chapter, Harry did honestly think he was going to die. And he was thinking about the moments, his last moments. Probably said, I should have said goodbye better with Ron and Hermione. And he was kind of sad he didn't get to say anything to Ginny before he left. He did give, Ron and Hermione the map and also the luck potion so they could figure out what Malfoy was doing. That came up with a brief thought in his head because he did not think he was going to make it at the situation, possibly. But good thing he did, so they're on their way back to Hogwarts.